Getting down to crunch time, we got waivers, we got injuries, we got defense, we got the whole 9 yards. Come along for the ride. Fantasy Whiplash Live starts now. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how's it going? Welcome to Fantasy Whiplash. Thanks for stopping by. And you'll notice I have a very fine-looking human being with me. He's an old friend of mine. His name is Pete Nova. You've probably seen him all over the interwebs. Pete, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I think this would be. We have. Let's see. We did one show with each other, and that was on Mike. I think that was Mike Cash's thing where we did a mock draft. I think that was the only other time me and you have done a show together. And I think that was like a month and a half into me just starting doing fantasy stuff. So I had just started. So yeah, you were probably one of the like first guys that I started connecting with in the space. When I first started getting things going. So I'm surprised we haven't been on with each other earlier or more, but glad to be here. Glad to hop on.
Yeah, and you've lapped me at this point. I mean, you got all kinds of viewers on your channels.
I get a bit lucky. The DST thing has been nice. People seem to everybody, the chicks dig the DST, I guess you could say.
Speaking of which, why don't you tell everybody where they can find all your stuff, how they can track you down, and all that jazz.
Yeah, I mean, you can find me at Supernova38 on Twitter. That's with 2 R's. You can find me on the PlayerProfiler channel. I do the top 10 takeaways on Mondays, so you'll see me there. I break everything down, all of what happened throughout the week, and just give my takes and kind of the most important things, and kind of break things down. I also do my DST videos. I just dropped it today. It's DST Streamers Plus Rankings, and that's where you can find me now. I did see that Jamie said there was an echo, but it should be good. I think that was on my side, so I fixed it. So
he was talking about me, and I'm looking at my sound settings.
It was me. Yeah, no, it was me. My computer, my
yeah, it might be me echoing on your computer.
Yeah, I should be good now because I'm looking at the mic and my mic was not flipped on for StreamYard. I don't know why StreamYard flipped me back to my laptop being the audio. So you know how that goes sometimes.
Jamie is there for us, man, as always. Jamie is the man. And he'll be here for about 2 minutes, and then he's got to go do his own show. But thanks for coming by. You know what? Let's just we already have a question in the chat, so let's just jump right on it.
Sure.
Where'd you go? Okay. Would you trade Emeka Egbuka, who's an 8th round keeper, for Saquon and Devontae to make a strong fantasy playoff push? I have Pittman, Higgins, Parker. I'm assuming that's Higgins, Cincinnati. Parker, Washington, Swift, ETN, Chase, Hampton, Benson, Love, Egbuka.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. It seems like a solid return. Yeah, I mean, I personally think it is. you're not going to equate the production from Saquon and Devontae with just Igbokwe, even without the other receivers there. But, I guess the question is, are you going to be able to start them every week over who you have? Which I guess you would. Saquon, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you figure Hampton, Chase Brown, Benson, right? I mean, Saquon becomes the RB1, right? And then you're probably start picking and choosing between Chase, Swift, and those guys. But you're upgrading the RB1. I mean, Sam, what is the difference between Devontae and Igbokwe? I mean, I'd say they're close to a wash. I mean, even though Devontae's the number 2 in his offense, I'd say they're pretty close to a wash. Igbokwe maybe a slight up, but I also trust the connection maybe a little bit more on a week by week basis with Adams and Stafford. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I see it as close to a wash though.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you, even with Stafford playing at, what is conceivably an MVP level. It's still very, very clearly Puka is number 1. And Devontae is still very clearly number 2, even though it's a really good number 2. So Igbokwe basically is the 1 in his offense right now. But yeah, I don't know that there's much of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at Adams this year, he's been he's been he's number 7 in points per game, right? So you're getting top 10 production from Adams this year, and he also plays behind next to a player in Puka who's already gone down with 2 injuries this year. If there's a possibility that Puka misses time, we know Devontae Adams, those consolidation of targets would be insane. I mean, you'd probably get 12 targets a game if Puka was down. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but and then you're pretty much getting Saquon. I mean, the keeper is the keeper. I mean, it's nice to have Igbokwe as an 8th round keeper is great for next year, but you're playing to win this year, and if your team is good, and it looks like it is, I'm not worried about next year too much. I'm going all in. I think you're actually getting the better side of the deal pretty significantly too. I mean, Saquon's
Yeah, I
almost like
do
a
too.
one in some ways. I mean, so I think it's a good deal.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would do the same thing. Jamie says Pete is awesome. And he said he would hope to flip Saquon for more wide receivers, if so. This has got to be like a start 3 wide out league and a flex,
He said it's
or
2 wide
something along
receivers.
those
Yeah,
lines.
he said 2 receivers, 2 running
If you
back, 2
want,
flex.
yeah. The thing is, if you're gonna flip him, I mean, the only thing someone's going to offer you is 2 mid-range wide receiver 2s at best.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's worth it. You know what I mean? You already have plenty of wide receiver 2s on your team.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm probably not moving Saquon, but I would do the deal either way.
Yeah, I would too. Okay, we got another one. Brendan says, we start to, okay. Flip for wide receiver depth. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's like Pete said, it's a big deal in your favor, regardless of whether you can flip Saquon or not. I don't know when your trade deadline is, but it's got to be coming up soon.
Yeah.
But at the very least, I would say make the deal, and then if you want to throw them on the block, but don't take just anything. You know what I mean? Force somebody to pay through the nose for it. Got another one here, Pete. If Burrow is on my waiver wire, do I pick him up to play defense against other teams?
I mean, I would think if it depends. I mean, do you have the roster space? I'm not I'm not picking him up unless, well, number one, it depends on your quarterback, right? Are you playing him at all, or is it just strictly for him to be on your bench? In that case, you have to have a really good starter, of course. But the other side of it is, are there good players out there available that you think can help you now? If there's a good defense out there, which we're going to talk about at some point, where the schedules are really, really good and you can hold a second defense like Tampa Bay, it might be worth it to stash a defense and play defense that way. But if there's a team in your league that's really good, that's a quarterback away, then yeah, I would have no problem going and picking up Burrow.
Yeah, he says he's got Drake May, and he does have the well. I mean, I think you answered your own question, Scott. If you have the roster space, why not? You know what I mean? God forbid if May should go down too. I personally, I'm a Cincinnati fan, and I ain't scared to admit it. But that said, a lot of us in Cincinnati are hoping and praying that Burrow does not come back.
Yeah.
I mean, we want him like handcuffed to a table because Burrow coming back doesn't change the fact that we have one of the worst defenses like in NFL history.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bad.
I mean, I understand they have a shot at the division, but with that defense, they're not going to make any noise in the postseason.
I mean, when you're starting two rookies at middle linebacker in the NFL, that's a recipe for disaster with no Logan Wilson there too. That defense is, I mean, yeah, not good.
Yeah. So let's go through a couple other things. Take it easy, Jamie. Have a good show, man. I wanted to talk about obviously there's always injury news. I'm not going to go through all of them, but maybe there's some that people want to know about. First of all, Pete, I don't know if you saw this, but Travis Hunter had surgery today and is done for the season now. So if anybody has Travis Hunter on their bench, they can drop him now.
Yeah. That's I mean, it's weird because it's not weird, but you figure a guy playing possibly the most snaps ever for an NFL player because he's playing both sides runs into an injury, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I want it to happen or was expecting it to happen, but I'm not surprised it happened. When you're putting that much tread on the tires, in a high impact sport like football, you're bound to possibly get yourself banged up. Now, this was a knee injury, so I don't even know if it was contact or not, but all that extra stress on the joints, playing more snaps than what you normally would in the NFL, it's tough. So I mean, yeah, that
was the most snaps he had played on offense this year. So
yep. Yeah, so it's tough to see. I mean, you hope. I guess I'm curious to know what you could flip him for, or what you could buy him for. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was the 105 in Dynasty, inside the 105, and I mean, a lot of people, maybe he's a good buy low because a lot of people were kind of discouraged at how he started the year.
Yeah, people
and now
were down on him.
Yeah, so maybe a good opportunity to buy him low.
I got Finkel here. Finkel is fickle. He can't decide whether to drop DJ Moore for Tez Johnson.
I think it's a legitimate question. I think Tez is the real deal right now. I guess it's a matter of what do you think the workload looks like when Godwin or Jalen McMillan come back?
Well, I think Godwin now, from what I saw today, I put this in my article today. I think now they're not expecting Godwin back until the very end of this month, which probably means the beginning of December. Could even be later than that. So, I mean, DJ Moore's a good player. I know he's having a down season, but um, this is hard for me to answer because I really love Tez Johnson.
Yeah, me too. And it's hard. It's actually hard for me because going into this, I've always been a huge DJ Moore fan. I didn't want to buy into, I know they brought in Bird, and I still thought, he could stave it off. And while he kind of has from a snap share standpoint, he's been really, it's probably the worst year of his career so far. Yeah, I honestly think I'm comfortable saying I would go with Tez. I mean, I think he's the real deal. I think he's averaging 15 fantasy points per game now. A lot of it's coming from touchdowns right now, so you hope that can be a little sticky. And touchdowns, we know, Sam, are not sticky. He's had touchdowns, I think, all in 3 straight weeks, but he's been really good. I'm okay at this point. We're at a point in the year where it's not week 3, week 4, and we're like, hey, we're not going to panic. Like, we're at week 11. Like, at this point, it's kind of shit or get off the pot, right? I mean, that's just where we're at.
Yeah, I think, my basic philosophy at this point in the year, whether you're trying to make the playoffs or you're already in and you're trying to reinforce your lineup, I think this is the time when you're gonna make a move. You consider the ramifications, but you make that move as though waivers close tomorrow for the rest of the season. Don't just tell yourself you can keep going back to the well, because you'll probably take steps downwards that way.
Sure. And and by the way, last 4 weeks, Tez Johnson is right now he's wide receiver 17 on a points per game basis, right behind Troy Franklin. Who would have thought those two guys at the if you told me the beginning of the year at a 4 week span, those guys would be top 20? I probably wouldn't have believed you, but that's kind of where we're at.
No doubt. Yeah, I'd have been like, who? Tez who?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I knew who Tez Johnson was, but still.
Yeah.
This is more questions than we usually get. I like it. Jelly of the month, 231. Okay, first of all, send me the jelly of the month, please. I would like to be a official spokesman. I'll have it right here for every episode.
Are you a jelly?
We'll have a segment. This is brought to you by the jelly of the month.
The jelly of the month.
Reach out to me on Twitter @BuyAndSillYou, and I'll make it happen.
I'm not really a jam guy. I'm more of a jelly. I'm not berry like all those kinds of jams. I'm more of a jelly guy, if anything.
Yeah, well, you know what they say about jelly and jam. I'm not going to repeat it, but okay. He says, should I stream Aaron Rodgers or Jacoby Brissett over Bo Nix right now? And Darnold has a bad matchup this week. It's 4 points of passing, TD.
We got to keep in mind Nix was bad last week, but I mean, Sam, he's 7 in points per game over the last 4 weeks. And he's averaging 23 a game. I know he was bad last week, but he had 20 points against Houston, the number 1 ranked defense, 28 the week before that, 38 the week before that against the Giants. I mean, obviously he went nuclear against Dallas and the Giants, but I mean, Kansas City, tough matchup. A little bit worried Dobbins is not going to be there. Now, if you're telling me, do I prefer Darnold or Knicks, I think Darnold is a little bit of a safer play. I mean, that run offense is not very good. That defense for the Rams is good, but they're keeping Darnold pretty clean. I think Darnold is a safe play over Rodgers and Jacoby. I actually have a little bit of concern. I think Jacoby in that game is going to be high scoring, but he's taken 5 sacks a game over the last 3 weeks, and it's an in division game. It could be a weird one where it's not as high scoring as we expect, and Rodgers off a tough game last week. Who does Rodgers play this week, Sam?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Oh yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
man.
that's what I was about to say is if you have room to play with it, then I'd really consider Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's like a foregone conclusion that he gets 3 touchdowns in that game.
I guess it's a matter of, do you have to drop Knicks or Darnold? That would be my concern. I mean, it's also 4-point passing, so I mean that doesn't really change much. Knicks and Darnold aren't really running it in, but I don't know. I mean, it's tough for me. I mean, how bad do you need a win? Is what I would say, because I don't know that I would want to drop Darnold or Knicks. If I had to, I would probably just bite the bullet and just roll out one of those guys rather than drop them. I mean, Nick still gets to play Washington in Week 13. He gets the Raiders one more time. Well, that was definitely bad, but he also gets Jacksonville in the semis, who's 30 in terms of points to the quarterback. Now, Green Bay, tough matchup, and he gets Kansas City one more time. I just don't know that I would drop him. I mean, I get it. He had a clunker last week, but outside of that, he's only had one other game below 15 points, and he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games of 20 or more points. So it's just tough to advocate to drop him for me. But if you had to,
I agree. Like if you have room to play and add Rodgers just for a week without dropping somebody, I would do that. But would I drop Darnold or Knicks for Rodgers? No, I don't want to be saddled with that guy for the rest of the season.
Me either. I'm with you.
Should I trade? Where to go here? Should I trade Javonte Williams? Should I trade Javonte away for James Cook? Because he doesn't like Cook's playoff schedule, which is what he's sticking on.
I guess I'm confused because he says trade away Javonte for Cook, so he's getting Cooks in the deal. He's getting Cook.
Yeah, so the only thing stopping him right now, I guess, is who Cook is going to play down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean he gets the Patriots and Cleveland, and I don't think those run defenses are going to fall off. Those run defenses have been phenomenal this year, so a little bit of slight concern there. I guess my question is, what does Javonte's schedule look like? I know I just saw James Cook's. Javonte, Dallas. Let's see. I mean, Javonte's schedule is not that great either. He gets Minnesota Chargers in the first 2 weeks of the playoffs, and then he gets Washington. But I don't think it's good enough. I would probably stick with James Cook. I mean, I don't think Javonte's schedule is great. He still has to play Detroit and Kansas City.
I mean, the Washington situation makes it tempting, but
sure. I mean,
that's a risk. Not at the risk of him getting shut down for 2 games prior.
Yeah.
And James Cook, even when his schedule stinks, if he's not going to run for 120 yards, he's going to get the ball inside the 5-yard line over and over and over again.
Yeah. And week 17 for Cook is against Philly, who's 24 against running back. So, it's still a plus matchup, just like it is for Washington. Both of those are still plus matchups. So,
yeah, I mean, I like Javonte because Dallas is always in a shootout. But
yeah,
I still I would prefer Cook. I would take Cook in that deal.
Me too.
Let's go again. Are we starting Woody Marks over RJ Harvey? Harvey has a tough matchup with KC. And Marks had a 25-plus point game the last time he played the Titans. This is actually, I'm glad you brought this up, Galaxy, because I was going to mention Harvey and see if we could come to an agreement on what we're going to get from him, because it came out today that Dobbins is now a candidate for IR. So, you know, I against the Chiefs, regardless, I'm not really a fan of RJ Harvey, and I love Woody Marks in general, and Tennessee is a nice matchup.
Yeah, I would play Woody Marks too. I mean, I think volume is going to be there for Harvey, but I would still roll the dice with Woody as well. I guess I'm excited for Harvey because it means more touches as a fantasy owner. I'm concerned about Harvey because I just don't think he's consistent enough in between the tackles like Dobbins, and I do worry that that's going to hinder the offense. But yeah, I would go with Woody Marks over Harvey.
I agree. Here's one for you. Are you not high on the Jags D this week? Easy floor of 4+ sacks and a lower point total on the week at 44.5.
Yeah, it's a good question. I actually am higher on the Jags defense than consensus is. So I do have them. I believe I don't have it exactly in front of me right now. I'd have to try to pull it back up a little bit later. But I do like the Jags defense. I think they're worth a roll of the dice because just given the fact that the Chargers tackles are out, the problem with the Jags defense is the secondary really bad. They obviously just lost Travis Hunter, and EPA wise, they're one of the worst secondaries against the pass over the last couple of weeks. And on defense against the ground, they're not much better either, and they don't have a great pass rush. So while Herbert does make a couple mistakes, he's forcing the ball in there and taking chances, and there have been interceptions, so that's been nice for fantasy. And the Chargers have been a top 15 unit against fantasy defenses for points allowed. So I definitely think it's worth a roll of the dice. I don't have them top 12, but I definitely think you could do worse than rolling out the Jags, especially given whatever your options are.
Yeah, I think you guys are speaking the same language here because he says the Chargers' offensive line is full of Walmart workers.
Yeah, it's pretty rough over there. I give a lot of credit to Herbert, man. He's been really good given the situation.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All right, let's talk about a couple more. Jackson Dart has a concussion. It's probably unlikely for him to play this weekend. It came out today that that's the fourth time this season he's been evaluated for a concussion. Although in what was maybe Daboll's last straw, everybody was like, why didn't you evaluate him on the sideline? And because he didn't, he just sent him back in. I guess that's how much he disliked Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't put Jameis Winston in. I still don't understand that.
I don't either.
I don't get it at all.
Yeah. I mean, just hurl the ball, for crying out loud.
It's
know what
ridiculous.
I mean?
Yeah, it's insane.
Everybody can calm down because Geno Smith should not miss time.
I was getting a little worried there.
He should be fine to keep the seat warm for Kyler Murray in 26.
Yes, I can see that. No, I think Kyler's destined for the Jets.
I think Kyler might be destined for the Canadian Football League.
I knew you were going to say that.
Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, not much to say. Stroud had a concussion. He'll probably play. Although Mills had the epic comeback on Sunday. That was crazy.
Yeah.
They scored like 24 points in the fourth quarter. Brock Purdy is still week to week. He didn't even suit up as the backup to Mac Jones last week. I think that even if he's ready is a full-on quarterback controversy at this point. If for no other reason than the fact that Mac has just been there the whole time. And he's used to the players, he's used to the receivers that are used to him. Well, the receivers he has. We talked about JK. That was a hip drop tackle, by the way.
I saw, yeah.
That took JK down. Irving and Hampton, nothing to report. I think next week Trey Benson might come back. And if that's the case, I think he should be a waiver stash now.
Yeah, I'm holding Benson in a lot of leagues on the IR, just in hopes that he comes back soon. But I'm with you there. I could use him. I could definitely, and I don't think it's going to be a split workload with like the DeMarcado stuff. I think he's. I mean, I think he's going to probably get about 60 to 65%. I don't think he's going to get like 75 or 80%, but I think he's probably getting more than 50-50.
Yeah, and the way Benson breaks tackles, I mean, 65%, that's pretty good. I mean, he's got a good shot at having a great game in that situation. I think, I think he needs to be stashed tonight. I was a little alarmed when I looked him up and saw his roster percentage is down to 60. And because meanwhile, I'm like you, I'm one of the people that have had him on the IR like all season. Like, you're not going anywhere, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just looking. I have waivers going through tonight, and I'm looking at the league, and I'm like, I see him sitting there. I have like no room, but I'm like, I just can't move him.
Right.
Trying to find any way to keep him.
I'll tell you what, we're up against about half of it. I do want to take a moment to talk about Fast Draft for anybody that hasn't played. Fast Draft is part of Player Profiler. It is a DFS game. It is a fast drafting game, hence the name, of course. But right now there are two contests going on, and they're both weekly contests. One is the Flex 6 Frenzy. You draft against 7 other people. It's 20-second clock. So snap, and you're done. The other one is DFS, like Underdog or DraftKings style, where you just pick your 6 favorite players, no quarterbacks, no kickers, no defense, just your favorite guys, and put them into a lineup and see how you do. And I mean, you can get paid out weekly on this. Pete, you play it. You're doing pretty well, I understand.
I do. I've got a lot of entries, so it takes a lot of bullets in the chambers, depending. I mean, you could get lucky as well, but it took me a lot of bullets in the chamber. I think I drafted about 90 Flex 4 teams before the season started.
Oh my God.
Yeah, drafted a lot. And so I do have one team in first place for that. So that'll be a nice payday if I can sustain it. But I've gotten lucky so far with the injury bug. So I gotta hope that I can stave that off.
Yeah, I have not done nearly as well as Pete has. But I did just pull down $80 last week, which I mean, for literally what took me 2 minutes to do. I made $40 an hour. $40. I'm sorry, $40 a minute. But enough for me. Let's let the Podfather tell you about it.
Pour one out for an incredible best ball season. It was a breakout 2025 for Fast Draft, but now the NFL action has started. That means it's DFS season. That's right. You might think, oh, wow, DFS, I can't win DFS. Oh, but you can on Fast Draft. You just pick any 6 guys and you put them in a handful of booster spots. There's no salary rubric you have to follow. You're not going up against thousands of killer bots in these tournaments. Oh, no. These are regular people grabbing their 6 favorite plays of the week, and that's all you have to do. And we post the ownership so that you can choose how much chalk you want. There is no drafting. It's called the Quick 6 Super Slam. The Quick 6 Super Slam is the signature DFS contest at Fast Draft. It is changing DFS. We are making DFS great again. So go to fastdraft.app and use your host promo code for a $50 deposit match. And let's go start drafting faster.
And let's go start drafting faster.
Yeah, nobody does the ads like Matt. That's for sure.
I do, man. I love them. I love. No matter how many times I see the same one over and over again, I'm like mouthing it with him.
Well, if you just have the words come out while you do that, you might actually be all right at it. It looks good in video. Just there's nothing coming out.
Yeah, well, I said I mouth the words, Pete. I mouth them. I don't want to talk over. I don't want to talk over my boss. I tell you what. As long as we are, we're going to mention some waivers here in a little bit. It is waiver wire night. Pete, do you need to clock out right at 10 o'clock?
I got a little extra time.
Okay. I want to go to, Pete has a show that has got massive popularity. He does a lot of defensive special team streamers, and I asked him to kind of look ahead and see, if you wanted to lock any teams in, whether it's for the stretch run or the playoffs, or add a second one to one you already have if you have a deep enough roster. So you got some ideas for us, Pete?
I do, yeah. I mean, so I was looking at a couple of teams, and one team that jumps off the bat for me is the Atlanta Falcons, right? So at least for the next couple of weeks, Atlanta Falcons, right? They lose 4 games straight after beating Buffalo, and now they're kind of in a pivotal point in their season where it's kind of like, again, shit or get off the pot, right? So they play a 3-week schedule coming up here where they get Carolina, they get the Jets, and they get the Saints, right? So 3 games that you feel like they got to get up for, and they got to show up for those games. That defense is very talented. The team as a whole, though, just like the offense, the defense sometimes can blank us. And so that's been the frustrating thing, is the consistency on a week-by-week basis. They're supposed to crush the Dolphins, didn't happen. And then the Dolphins end up crushing the Bills the next week. So it's a very confusing game, NFL fantasy, right? We try our best to kind of project. But that's a team, at least for the intermediate right now, if you're taking a look. Then the other 2 teams that come to mind for me are the Ravens and the Buccaneers. Ravens defense has been much more improved. And honestly, like, when we thought about the offseason, the Ravens were talked about as like, this could be the best secondary in football. They draft Malachi Starks, right? They had Jair Alexander that they added. Now Jair gets traded to the Eagles, and then ironically doesn't even play. He's now stepping away from family.
And then retires.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it.
But we thought this was going to be, one of the better defenses in football, right? Like it looked like it was trending that way. Obviously, just doesn't turn out that way. But their schedule, and I had it pulled up, but it just jumped off the screen. So trying to pull it back up.
I'll grab it.
Yeah, if you want to grab that, their schedule's pretty good. Let me
Looks like the
see.
Ravens have the Browns, the Jets, and someone else who's hidden.
I know they have the Bengals on that list as well.
Yes, Browns, Jets, Bengals immediately. And then further down, and then Steelers, Bengals again, Pats, Packers, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so I think that's a pretty solid schedule and a team to target. And then when you look at the Buccaneers, I give it credit. I think their defense is I was not expecting them to be as good as they've been this year. They obviously didn't show up that like fantasy wise against the Patriots, but I actually thought the defense played pretty good against Drake May. They just hit a bunch of chunk plays, right? That Kyle Williams 75-yard touchdown, the Matt Collins big catch. Like
I called that on our sleeper show last Saturday.
Yeah. Well, oh, you called Matt Collins or Kyle Williams?
I called Kyle Williams.
Nice. I had mentioned Kyle Williams on the Monday show for top 10 takeaways too. I had to start him in one spot, and it ended up. I don't even know. Did he get another catch outside the one for 75?
No, that's it. That was it. The one touchdown, but he looked damn good doing it, man. He was flying.
I know.
And the guy that I record that show with is a Patriots fan. And when I said one of my sleepers was Kyle Williams, he looked at me like I had three heads.
Well, apparently Matt Collins is the alpha there. Who knew? I think he had like 10 targets. I don't understand. Matt Collins is an enigma, man. Like it is the same thing with Buffalo last year. Like he's a great blocker. I guess he's a great culture locker room guy, but he somehow makes himself like opportunities. I don't get it. But to close out the defense thing, Bucks, when you look at their schedule, they get Arizona in week 13, they get the Saints week 14, they get Atlanta week 15, and they get the Panthers week 16, and they also get Miami week 17. We don't even know what that team's going to even look like by then at week 17. It might even not even be Tua at that point as the quarterback. So I think the Bucks have a really, really nice stretch there from week 14 to week 17. Obviously Rams and Bills the next 2 weeks. That's a little bit of a tougher road, but you're not playing them. You're just stashing them. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I like both of those quite a bit. I want to talk about. I'm sorry, you got another one? Somebody else?
No, that was it. No, that was it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I wanted to mention. Let's just do a couple waivers, and then we'll get out of here because that's what people usually watch this show for. They want to hear who to grab. So I'm going to get this little list I made here, and I'll reiterate what I said earlier. This is the time of year where you really have to do your research. If you're switching one guy out for another and it's kind of 6 in one, half dozen in the other, you need to be looking at schedules. You need to be looking at volume. The name of the game in fantasy football is volume. The guys that are getting the most targets, not necessarily having the most fantasy stats lately, but who all of a sudden in the last 3 weeks are getting 8, 9 targets every game. So I urge everybody to keep that in mind. For me, my number one pickup is going to be Trey Benson, like we discussed. Because I do think that he can be that league winner that we're all in search of. And I also would tell people to not just go looking for league winners. The chances are they're already in the league somewhere. So you have to watch what people are dropping, who people are dropping, if you think it's a mistake, and so on and so forth. But Pete, you got a favorite for me?
Yeah, honestly, Christian Watson has kind of creeped up there as one of my guys that I'm starting to really like. He's just looked really good over the last couple of weeks. He's averaging 71 yards in the last 2 games. Volume, I know we talked about it a little bit, but volume hasn't necessarily been there. It's never going to be there for the Packers, right?
Right.
4 targets, 3 receptions, right? 71.5 yards. That's what he's averaging over the last couple of weeks. But he's pumping out about 10 fantasy points over that span. So he's looked pretty good. And ironically, I don't mind taking a chance on Jaden Reed either. 2 guys on the same team. I know it's a crowded area, but Jaden Reed could be spicy, right? We know with him, he's a guy that does not need a lot of touches. He was top 10 last year in fantasy points per touch. So we know Jaden Reed, if he gets back and healthy, we know what he can do. So that's a little bit with the wide receivers. And I guess one other wide receiver. Everyone's kind of hot and bothered about Alec Pierce right now, and I get it. He's definitely a name, but I still am surprised Troy Franklin's 54% roster across fantasy formats. And we
Yeah.
talked about him, top 20 guy right now over the last 4 weeks. He's averaging 15 points. And you talk about targets. I mean, he's averaging 7 targets this year. So he's been good.
Yeah, and he's not even really wide receiver 2 in that offense. I mean, by name he is, but it's really a 1A, 1B kind of situation. I mean, he is capable of outperforming Cortland Sutton on any given week, and did so at the beginning of the season before Sutton got his act together. But yeah, Green Bay is an interesting one. It's like, man, if you can adequately predict who they will decide is their go-to weapon, then you win the $1 million prize and every fantasy tournament. Because whoever it is, if they hit, I mean, it's like hitting the lottery.
Yeah. Yeah, I also, if you want another one, I think Brenton Strange is kind of sneaky. He's coming back off the IR. Obviously, Travis Hunter's gone, but I mean, he was pretty good in a consistent piece in that offense, and he's coming back. So he's kind of worth looking at the tight end position as well, which can be pretty barren this time of year with the injuries and a lot of guys already scooped up. A lot of teams rostering 2. So I would say Brenton Strange is available because I see he's available in 89% of leagues right now.
Yeah, I like Brendan Strange, and they said even though they just opened the window, the hope is for him to be ready to go this coming Sunday.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's what Liam Cohen said right after he said Duval.
Don't do that. Oh God. I think he hates Trevor Lawrence, man. I think it's turning over there a little bit, but that's another topic for discussion later.
It is. We'll have to have a special show. I'll drop another one or two here, but let's answer this question from Evo Boy 2011. Please help me. I need 2 running backs this week. Judkins, Hall, Henderson, ETN, Aaron Jones, Chase Brown, Woody Marks, PPR.
Ugh.
It doesn't sound like you need 2 running backs. You've got 6, 7.
I think Chase Brown against Pittsburgh for sure he looked good last time they played. I would rather start him over Judkins, to be honest. Judkins against Baltimore. I love Judkins, man. It's tough. He's got such a good schedule, but this Dylan Gabriel stuff, it's just holding him back.
Yeah.
And he's not like a big receiving back, so you really got to hope that he scores touchdowns or just makes the most out of his touches. So I definitely lean Chase Brown. I don't know who the second guy would be, but I would say that would be where I'd start, is at least Chase Brown.
I would say Chase Brown as well against Pittsburgh for the same reason you said. In PPR, yeah, I could go either way on Aaron Jones or Woody Marks, but I feel like the clock is ticking on Aaron Jones. Like, he came back to more volume than we expected him to get. So we kind of thought Jordan Mason had a stranglehold on that job. And he's looked really, really good. And he's certainly one of the better pass catching backs in the NFL. But I do, as we said earlier, really like Marks against a plus matchup with the Tennessee Titans. Henderson, Vrabel is that guy who, as soon as Ramondre Stevenson comes back, it's going to be like, Travion who?
Yeah, I worry about that a little bit. If Stevenson's out, I think it's between Henderson and Marks for me. But we'll have to see, because Jets' run defense hasn't been that great either. I don't want to start Breece Hall this week if I can avoid to against the Patriots. That run defense has been great, and we talked about Judkins. He's going up against Baltimore. His defense has been very good too. So those guys, name value wise, feel like, oh yeah, got to play him. But those guys I don't feel super comfortable playing. So.
Yeah, I like Brown and Marks personally, as far as their matchups go, and as far as kind of being the only guy back there. I mean, I know Marks has Chubb, but if Marks gets on one, then they don't bother putting the old man in.
Yeah.
Which I'm all too familiar with. I was going to mention the tight end as well. Well, first of all, I'll just, as an aside, mention that Colston Loveland is still out there at 46% rostered. I don't know if he can keep up this pace that he's on right now. I doubt it. But I do like Mason Taylor, who's been really streaky this year. But now Garrett Wilson is out for an extended period again, which kind of makes Mason Taylor a de facto almost wide receiver one as a tight end. So I think he's going to be getting a lot of targets, and that's, for me, that's the name of the game, Man, I hate Alec Pierce.
You hate Alec Pierce?
I don't know why I hate Alec Pierce. I just do. I don't like looking at his face.
He's the white Christian Watson. They're like the same player. Four catches, 75 yards. You hope they get a touchdown. Not big volume, big downfield, make one or two big catches a game. They're not working in the intermediate like at all, and that's it. That's just what they do. You just hope they fall into the end zone.
He was the only receiver that Anthony Richardson could hit.
Yeah. The great Anthony Richardson.
Okay. Let me ask you one more question and then we'll get out of here.
Sure.
There is, and this is a little bit of a curveball. You're in a deep league or a 2-quarterback league in redraft. You are hurting bad at your second quarterback position. You just lost somebody. Who are you adding? Mariota, Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Schuff, Mac Jones and Flacco are both taken already. Oh man, I had two more guys, and that just tells you how good they are.
It's Jacoby Brissett too. I see you
Oh,
had in
Jacoby
Fields.
Brissett, yeah.
And Fields. I would honestly start Mariota. I would pick up Mariota. I think. He's still getting us yards with his legs. Now we don't know when Jaden Daniels is going to come back, so that's the tough thing. I don't know how many weeks you're going to get. But I think I would start Mariota just on the sheer fact that maybe Terry comes back, and maybe he can get things going with his legs. It's pretty gross either way. Brissett's been kind of good too. He's throwing for like 250 plus and not turning the football over, but he's also taking a lot of sacks.
Mhm.
And he's had some pretty soft matchups, so I don't know how sustainable that is. I think I would go with Mariota, but it's pretty gross.
Yeah, I would too. And as a matter of fact, speaking of gross, I have him in like 3 leagues
Oh gosh.
that I was forced into for this very reason. But all right, what else you got? Anything?
That's really it. I mean, I guess I'll leave off on the RJ Harvey thing. I think if there's a guy behind him, I prefer Jaleel over Tyler Bidet. But I think there's a world where they go and bring in like Zach Moss. I think they need a bigger back for pass protection, and I wouldn't. I know Ben Albright mentioned does Sean Payton call up his boy Latavius Murray and see what he's doing? Uh, I mean, wouldn't surprise me, but I think Jaleel I prefer over Bidet. Bidet's a better pass blocker than Jaleel.
Mark Ingram? Is he going to call Mark Ingram?
Yeah, Mark Ingram's gonna come out of retirement. He looks good though for himself. I see him on the college game days. He looks like he's
He
keeping
looks
himself
great
together.
for 80. Pete, why don't you tell them again where they can find all your stuff, and then I'll finish us off here.
Sure. Yeah, you can find me on Player Profiler for Mondays at usually 6 o'clock, but it fluctuates. We did one a little earlier this week, but I did the top 10 takeaways on Mondays, and then I'm also over here on the Face Off Sports Network where I do my DST stuff. I do my Thursday and Sunday start sit shows, and then obviously the off season is going to be a ton of fun. I'm excited for it for Player Profiler. We're going to have a lot of content coming out in the off season for Dynasty, for prospects. So that'll be a lot of fun. I know you'll be working on some of the rookie guide stuff as well, Sam. So excited for that. We're still in the season, but I'm excited for the off season as well. And you can find me all over Player Profiler as well as over at the Face Off Sports Network.
Absolutely, and you can find Pete on Twitter X, and it's in the description of the video as well, at super with 2 R's Nova 38. You can find me on Twitter at buy and sell you. That's all one word. For anybody that needs more waiver advice or injury updates, I just published an article today at Player Profiler. It looks a little daunting. It's very long, but it's broken up pretty clearly. You can cycle right down to the injuries. You can cycle right down to the waivers, whatever you want to do. So I think that's all we got. So why don't you say bye to the people, Pete?
See you guys later. Oh, I thought that was going to be like a drop.
Well, it was, but the button stuck.